I could not allow her to leave the studio without spending a few minutes with her as well. Of course, the book is 4 Minutes to Happy, and I only need one to get to happy with you, because high five on that.
High five.
We'll get to the music in just a second, because I'm a big music lover as well. But I have a theory on happiness. Okay? I think happiness is internal. I think it's spiritual. I think people who have a relationship with God are always eternally happy. And that people who look for things in the natural world that seek happiness outside of themselves are always let down, because the world is not the perfect place. Therefore, if I'm looking for my job to make me happy, or I'm looking for this to make me happy, and as soon as you have a bad moment in your day's ruined, because you're looking for that to fulfill happiness. That's kind of my, in a nutshell, my thought on happiness.
You know, we have traveled to Africa a lot, and we have been surrounded by people who don't have a lot of things. And we were at a 50,000-acre tomato ranch where the workers wore the same clothes every day. Some of them didn't have shoes. And here we are showing up for safari with fancy clothes and watches and cameras and things. And I asked our guide, Dr. Rocco Joya, do they look at us, are they jealous of us that we have so many things? And he said, no, they feel sorry for you because you need so many things. Sure. I think the problem is now, number one, Brian, I totally agree with you. As a Christian, I think you have to have faith. You have to have faith that things are going to get better. We could all look at spilled milk and just the disasters that happen on a normal. I got a flat tire the other day, driving to my fitness class. I'm like, let me make it. But I think you have to look at things in a different perspective, and if it doesn't come from within, where does it come from? And there are people, you were talking earlier, there are people who seem to be negative all the time, and I honestly believe they don't know what they want in life. They don't know how to be happy, because people have always told them what to do, and they've accepted it.
Absolutely. And I think until they find that purpose, which we talked about earlier, I think a couple shows ago, about finding your purpose in life, I don't think you can fully be happy.
I feel like our purpose in life is to find our gifts and to give them away.
Spiritual gifts.
Yeah, our spiritual gifts, and to give them away. I mean, you're very buoyant and upbeat, and you know, people are around you and they feel better. And if I can change somebody's life by being happier or helping them in one of my fitness classes, and they smile and they're sweating while they're dancing with me in Zumba, it makes my day.
I heard a great quote from the great Dennis Prager. He said, I don't understand what's so wrong, even if you are an atheist and you don't believe in God or anything like that. What is so wrong about Christmas when you're giving gifts to people to make them happy? What is so wrong about making other people in our lives happy? And that's what it's all about, I think.
That's really, sharing our gifts with other people is really, I have a chapter about charity work. We could, you know, we all have, maybe you don't have a bad hair day, but we women sometimes have
doesn't know me, right?
We sometimes have bad hair days. But when you give, I write about, Ted and I and Rocco were so fortunate to go to Brooke Medical Center in San Antonio, where they're burned victims, and we were standing outside of the room with Nancy Shranowski, whose 19-year-old son, John, had been brought in the night before with burns all over his body. Well, Ted went in and talked to John and gave him some uplifting words. He's wrapped up in a mummy, burned. And Rocco and I are standing outside the room with John's mom. What do you say to the mother? And all I said was, Nancy, is there anything that you need? Can I do anything for you? And she said, yeah, well, there's no place for my son to go outdoors while he's recovering, that he can't be exposed to the direct sunlight. And I just went, okay, I'm going to build you a patio. Like, who wouldn't? You would do the same thing. So I built a patio at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio for burned soldiers there. But what happens is, when you're in that situation, you don't think about bad hair days. You don't think about being 5 or 10 or 20 pounds overweight. You are giving of yourself, and it fills you up.
It does. It fills your cup of life. Okay, I've got to ask you before we go. I'm going to bring in Amanda over here.
Okay.
What is it like to have a, legendary rocker husband? I mean,
I think she's pretty legendary herself.
Oh, I like you guys. I'm going to hang out
I ought to be asking Ted what it's like to have a rocker.
There we go. Let's ask him.
But that's kind of cool, right?
How long do we have?
Not too long.
Yes, it's absolutely cool. It's fun, but you know, I can ask the same question of people who are women who are married to doctors or guys who are married to other successful people. We make it work. We have a lot in common. We have a lot that isn't in common.
Yeah.
So I do my fitness thing. He does his thing. We meet some places in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, marriage is not easy.
No.
But you learn, and that's actually one of the chapters in here I write about, you know what, if you're not happy with a relationship, that's on you, bro.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out. And it took me a long time. Can you imagine having an argument with Ted Nugent?
I cannot.
I figured it out.
figured it out?
It's about
Go
time.
live on Instagram the next time y'all have a fight. Let us know.
Ooh.
Facebook Live.
Oh, I'll come here and I'll do it.
And let's talk about the influence. Your son's on the show tomorrow.
Yep.
Rocco,
He's
an amazing musician, but he's also going to talk about FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yep.
I was not familiar with this term.
Oh, I'm familiar.
You weren't?
I was not at all. I know. I can't wait. Best website for you, for people to come get more information?
ShemaineNugent.rocks. S-H-E-M-A-N-E, ShemaineNugent.rocks.
The book is called 4 Minutes to Happy. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
There you go. Go to our website, fox44news.com, for more information about this show. You can binge watch this show if you want to.
Can we do a little dance to go out?
Can we do? Can we just like?
What were you doing?
I was
You were
doing
that.
more of this.